What if I told you that Europe's most magical destinations aren't always the ones on the postcards? Beyond the Eiffel Tower, Big Ben, and Colosseum, there are places that look like they've been lifted straight out of a storybook: castles perched on cliffs, pastel-colored villages clinging to lakesides, and towns where time feels completely frozen. In this video, we're counting down the top 20 most beautiful hidden gems in Europe, places that might not always top the guidebooks, but absolutely deserve a spot on your travel bucket list. And stick around until the end, because number 1 is often called the most beautiful village in the world. And it's hard to argue with that, so grab your passport, let's dive in. Rocamadour, France. Clinging dramatically to a cliffside above the Alzeux Canyon, Rocamadour is a medieval village that looks straight out of a fantasy movie. Its stacked stone houses, winding alleys, and sanctuaries have made it a pilgrimage site for centuries. Travelers often climb the grand stairway of 216 steps, on their knees, historically, to reach the revered Black Madonna shrine. But beyond its religious past, Rocamadour is a delight to wander, with sweeping valley views, artisan shops, and its local goat cheese that even holds an AOC designation. Visiting here feels like walking through a medieval painting where history, spirituality, and breathtaking scenery merge. San Marino. High in the Apennine Mountains, the Republic of San Marino is one of the world's oldest republics, founded in the year 301. The capital, also called San Marino, sits atop Monte Titano and is crowned with 3 iconic fortress towers that seem to float above the clouds. While tiny, the country overflows with charm: narrow cobbled streets, panoramic views stretching into Italy, and a palpable sense of independence. Wander through its medieval old town, visit the quirky Museum of Curiosities, or simply watch the sunset from the battlements. It's a microstate with a macro personality. Gdansk, Poland. Colorful, resilient, and brimming with history, Gdansk is a city that's often overlooked in favor of Warsaw or Krakow, but those who visit are rewarded. Its long market street is lined with Dutch-inspired merchant houses, leading to the iconic Neptune Fountain. Gdansk was also the spark of major European history. It's where World War II began and where the Solidarity movement later ignited the fall of communism. Beyond history, the nearby Baltic coast provides fresh seafood, sandy beaches, and easy access to charming seaside towns like Sopot. Gdansk is the perfect mix of storybook architecture and living history. Lofoten Islands, Norway. Imagine jagged mountains plunging into icy fjords, dotted with bright red fishing cabins. That's the Lofoten Islands. Located above the Arctic Circle, they're a dreamscape for adventurers. In winter, you can watch the northern lights shimmer over snow-capped peaks. In summer, bask under the midnight sun. Activities here include hiking Rheinbringen for sweeping views, kayaking through tranquil fjords, or simply staying in a converted fisherman's rorbu cabin. Lofoten feels remote and wild, yet deeply human in its fishing traditions. Few places combine raw nature and cultural heritage quite like this Arctic wonder. Landmannalaugar, Iceland. Deep in Iceland's highlands lies Landmannalaugar, a surreal landscape of rainbow-colored rhyolite mountains. Hiking trails here lead past steaming lava fields, bubbling hot springs, and rolling valleys streaked with orange, pink, and green. It's part of the Fjalabak Nature Reserve, and while remote, it's one of the best places for multi-day treks, like the famous Lagavegur Trail. After hours of hiking, travelers can soak in the area's natural hot pools. Landmannalager is otherworldly, one of those places that make you feel like you've stepped onto another planet. Ohrid, North Macedonia, often called the Jerusalem of the Balkans. Ohrid is a lakeside jewel filled with ancient churches, monasteries, and archaeological sites. The Church of St. John at Canio, perched on a cliff overlooking Lake Ohrid, is one of the most photographed scenes in the Balkans. The town also hosts one of Europe's oldest universities and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site for both its cultural and natural significance. Between wandering cobbled streets, swimming in crystal-clear waters, and taking boat rides to hidden monasteries, Ohrid offers serenity with a strong historical heartbeat. Sibiu, Romania. With pastel-colored facades and rooftops that appear to have eyes, Sibiu is one of Transylvania's most atmospheric towns. Once a thriving Saxon settlement, it still holds a distinctly German feel with its towers, bridges, and medieval squares. The Bridge of Lies, surrounded by legend, and the Grand Council Tower are must-sees. Sibiu is also a culinary hub, recently named one of Europe's cultural capitals. Beyond the walls, the surrounding Carpathian Mountains offer scenic escapes. Sibiu is the kind of city where folklore, architecture, and modern vibrancy intertwine. Plovdiv, Bulgaria, Europe's oldest continuously inhabited city. Plovdiv is over 8,000 years old. Its layers of history include Thracian ruins, a Roman amphitheater still in use today, Ottoman mosques, and colorful Bulgarian Renaissance houses. The old town feels like a museum under the open sky, but Plovdiv is also youthful, filled with street art, trendy cafes, and festivals. Walking through its 7 hills, you'll feel both the weight of history and the pulse of modern creativity. Few cities balance past and present as effortlessly as Plovdiv. Giethoorn, Netherlands. Forget roads, here, canals rule. Known as the Venice of the North, Giethoorn is a village where residents travel by boat, bicycle, or on foot along charming footbridges. Thatched cottages sit beside narrow waterways lined with flowers, creating a tranquil scene straight out of a fairy tale. Visitors can rent whisper boats, electric, noiseless, to explore at their own pace, or stroll along the canals sampling Dutch pancakes at cozy cafes. Giethoorn proves that sometimes the quietest destinations make the loudest impression. Lausanne, Switzerland. Overlooking Lake Geneva with the Alps on the horizon, Lausanne is both scenic and sophisticated. It's home to the International Olympic Committee, and the Olympic Museum is a must-visit. The city's old town charms with the Gothic Lausanne Cathedral, while its lakeside district of Ouchy offers boat rides and sunset strolls. Lausanne balances urban energy with lakeside relaxation, making it a fantastic base for exploring vineyards, nearby Montreux, or even hopping a ferry to France. Matera, Italy. Carved into stone cliffs, Matera is famous for its sassy cave dwellings, once considered impoverished but now UNESCO protected and transformed into boutique hotels and restaurants. Wandering through Matera feels like stepping back into biblical times. It's no wonder the city has been used as a filming location for movies like The Passion of the Christ and No Time to Die. At night, the sassy glow warmly under golden lights, creating one of the most magical skylines in Europe. 9. Kotar, Montenegro. Nestled in a fjord-like bay, Kotar is a fortified town surrounded by dramatic mountains. Its medieval walls, cobbled alleys, and lively squares make it a joy to explore. For panoramic views, travelers climb the 1,350 steps up to St. John's Fortress overlooking the bay. It's a workout with a priceless reward. With its blend of Venetian, Byzantine, and local culture, Kotar is as much about atmosphere as it is about scenery. Eight. Colmar, France. Pastel timber-framed houses, flower-decked canals, and cobblestone lanes, Colmar is often described as walking into a fairy tale. Located in Alsace wine country, it's not just picturesque but also a gateway to France's famous vineyards. The Little Venice district is especially enchanting, with colorful houses mirrored in the canals. Colmar is also known for its Christmas markets, among the most magical in Europe. 7. Mostar, Bosnia-Herzegovina. Mostar's crown jewel is its starry most, the 16th century Ottoman bridge gracefully arching over the Emerald Neretva River. Destroyed during the war and later rebuilt, it's now a symbol of resilience and unity. Watching locals dive off the bridge into the rushing waters below is a tradition and spectacle. But Mostar is more than its bridge. Bustling bazaars, Ottoman-era houses, and riverside cafes make it a place of both history and vibrant life. Six. Ronda, Spain. Dramatically perched on cliffs, Ronda is split by the deep El Tajo Gorge, connected by the breathtaking Puente Nuevo Bridge. This setting has inspired poets, writers, and painters for centuries. The town is also considered the birthplace of modern bullfighting, with its historic arena. Beyond history, Ronda's viewpoints at sunset are unforgettable, making it one of Spain's most romantic escapes. Five. Český Krumlov, Czech Republic. With its castle tower painted in whimsical colors and a river curling through its medieval center, Český Krumlov is pure magic. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, it's often compared to Prague, but without the crowds. The Rosenborg Castle is the star, but the town's narrow alleys, artisan shops, and riverside cafes add to the charm. Whether kayaking down the Vltava or attending a summer festival, Český Krumlov feels like a step into a storybook. Four. Sintra, Portugal. A landscape of palaces, castles, and mystical forests, Sintra feels enchanted. The Pena Palace, with its colorful towers and whimsical design, is straight from a fairy tale. The mysterious Quinta de Regalera, with its spiraling initiation well, seems made for adventure seekers. Nestled in the hills just outside Lisbon, Sintra is where history, legend, and nature meet. Three. Bruges, Belgium. Often called the Venice of the North, Bruges is a medieval jewel of canals, cobblestones, and Gothic architecture. Its belfry tower dominates the skyline, while horse-drawn carriages clatter through Market Square. The canals reflect pastel facades, especially magical during evening boat rides. And yes, the chocolate shops and Belgian waffles are as irresistible as the scenery. Two. Lake Bled, Slovenia. Few places capture Europe's imagination like Lake Bled. Its tiny island with a church in the middle of emerald waters is postcard perfection. Hike up to Bled Castle for sweeping views, or take a traditional Pletna boat to ring the island church's bell for good luck. In winter, the lake sparkles with snow-dusted peaks. In summer, it's a paradise for swimming and rowing. Hallstatt, Austria. Tucked between a glassy lake and towering mountains, Hallstatt is often called the most beautiful village in the world. Wooden houses with flower-filled balconies climb up the mountainside, while swans glide across the lake. Its salt mine, the world's oldest, tells the story of how this little village once fueled empires. Visiting Hallstatt feels surreal, like stepping into a dream where every corner is picture-perfect. And there you have it, the top 20 most beautiful hidden gems in Europe, from rainbow mountains in Iceland to a lakeside fairy tale in Austria. These places prove that Europe's beauty goes far beyond its capitals and tourist hotspots. So tell me, which of these destinations just skyrocketed to the top of your bucket list? Have you already been to any of them? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. If you enjoyed this countdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more travel inspiration, and share this with a fellow traveler who's always dreaming of their next adventure, because sometimes, the most unforgettable journeys are found beyond the postcards.